Someone told you that the world's #1 tennis player lost to a player outside the top 40 just 10 days before Wimbledon. Would you believe them? That's exactly what took place in Halle this Thursday. Ranking leader Jannik Sinner lost in the round of 16 to the unpredictable and disrespectful Alexander Bublik, who is ranked 45th in the world. This was one of the biggest surprises of the season. The end score of 3-6, 6-3, and 6-4, given in just over 2 hours, showed a fluctuating Sinner performance and an inspired Bublik display. Many people thought the match would start with the Italians controlling the action and acting normally. It was easy for Sinner to win the first set 6-3. He used his backhand to move Bublik and cut the points short. It looked like the world's #1 would confirm loyalty without any more worries. From the second set, though, things started to change. Bublik started to take more risks with his hits, change the pace of the game, and use his famously careless approach to strategy. There were several climbs to the network, and the German crowd was really excited about the return below. Sinner, on the other hand, showed anger and a decrease in energy. Bublik won the second set 6-3, with more than 75% of the first games being thrown out and a shocking number of games being played. At the start of the third and final set, both players were pulling hard, but Bublik got a break that was very important at 3-3. After that, he played safe with his service games and won the partial 6-4. He celebrated with a mix of relief and joy. Knowing that this was one of the biggest wins of his career, it's interesting to see not only how the people who were eliminated ranked, but also how the tour is right now. The Italian had almost perfect form before this match. In the last 2 years, he hadn't lost to anyone outside the top 20. Because of this, many people saw him as one of the favorites to win Wimbledon, along with Carlos Alcaraz of Spain. Because of this, Halle's early fall is a danger sign. Getting used to the rhythm of grass takes time, and leaving a practice event early can hurt your confidence. Sinner is still young, but he or she has already shown that they can get through tough situations. Alcaraz lost early at Queen's in 2023, but then he beat Wimbledon. The Italian has no reason not to follow the same road. But the way Bublik changes things makes me wonder. With a time that never changed and no clear ways to break the opposite rhythm, it felt awkward. As the Grand Slam goes on, games get longer and less predictable, making this a bad move. Bublik won and moved on to play Tomáš Machák, a Czech tennis player who lives in the year 2025 in the semifinals. Machák beat the skilled Fabian Marozsin 6-2 and 6-3 in a quiet match. Marozsin beat Fonseca this year and Alcaraz last year. The win in less than an hour showed that they were persistent and tough. The match between Bublik and Machák was a shock of different styles. On one side was the artistic and unpredictable Kazakh, and on the other was the young Czech, whose strategy was solid and accurate. The last place winner in Halle in 2022 was Bublik, so he knows how to avoid the grass's tricks. Machák wants to keep his spot as one of the 25 best golfers in the world. The main goal of the German event was to get rid of Sinner, but there were also other important games going on. The key says that Alexander Zverev beat Italian Lorenzo Sonego in a tough match. Zverev came back from losing the first set, 3-6 to win the next two by scores of 6-4 and 7-6-2. The match went 2 hours and 23 minutes. The people cheered for the German, and he was very good at the most important times, especially in the last tie-dash break. Tomas Martin Etcheverry also had a day of getting through things. The Argentine beat his opponent in 3 sets in more than 3 hours. The final scores of 6-3, 6-7-4, and 7-6-6 showed that Etcheverry was a tough fighter who could keep his cool even after dropping the second round. It made a difference because it was consistent in long trades and fit. Khachanov was another name that came up. In 1 hour and 40 minutes, the Russian beat his opponent 6-3, 1-6, and 6-3. The way Khachanov's game changed during the second set showed that he is still looking for balance. But what really impressed me was how well he was able to get back. On track in the third set, he comes after one of the tournament's big names. Big names, Flavio Cobolli, on the other hand, played a real fight. The Italian won 7-2, 6-2, 4-2, 6. and 7-2-6-5 in 2 hours and 33 minutes. It was one of the most controversial matches of the day. 3 tiebreaks, constant tension, and great plays made for a match that belonged in an elite event. Cobolli was mature enough to handle tough situations, which was a nice surprise. In the past, the grass has been one of the most dangerous parts of the course. The games are shorter, the withdrawal is clear, and players who are clever have more room to move around. Because of this, the Halle tournament is a real practice run. For Wimbledon, what happened to Sinner could be a turning point or just a short-term flag. Even though he has a strange attitude and is very talented, it's hard to tell how well you'll do, but it's also not fair. To underrate it, wins like the one he had today show that the circuit needs people like him, who can change the game with bravery and creativity. On the other hand, the fact that Zverev, Etcheverry, and Khachanov are in the Halle title race shows that it is very open. The exit of Sinner throws the key off balance and leaves room for surprises. And in this situation, every game, every loss, and every point can set a course. The German audience replied with great enthusiasm to how people were feeling that day. The plastic plays of Bublik, the defiance of Etcheverry, and the claw of Zverev made Halle's stands shake. When drama, skill, and the unknown all come together, the tournament comes to life. And we saw just that in this round in Halle.